Man walked into my barber shop with his son, then literally dragged the boy into my chair. He'll take a low on the sides, keep the top. I stood there looking at the shaking kid who seemed too terrified to say a word and felt like something was wrong. I brought the clippers to life, but his dad immediately sat behind us, touching the kid's shoulder and holding it with a sharp look aimed right at me. I tried asking the kid if he likes school, just to make small talk, but his dad immediately answered for him. He loves it. He's happy there. He tilted the boy's head towards the mirror, gripping his neck tight, and an awful feeling settled in my stomach. I asked the kid, "How was your morning today, buddy?" But his dad answered again, "It was good. Why are you asking him that?" I said nothing, but the kid trembled hard under his dad's touch, and the next time his dad answered for him, I turned off the clippers. "Can't your son answer for himself?" But the dad instantly shot out of his chair and got in my face. "No, he can't. I speak for him." My eyes widened in horror, and I knelt down to the boy. "Is everything okay, sweetie?" His lip quivered hard, so I placed my hand on his shoulder to soothe him, but his dad immediately pushed me away. "Don't touch my son. He's fine." But his son was now crying, silent tears rolling down his face. "Stop getting involved." He grabbed his crying son by the shoulders and straightened his posture. I felt myself break and pulled out my phone. "I'm making a call." I started dialing, and that's when the dad cracked. "Please wait." Tears suddenly filled his eyes, and he looked nothing like the angry man I saw 5 seconds ago. "My son is mute. He can't speak." His voice cracked. "And 3 months ago, he went blind too." He placed his hand back on his son's shoulder. "He doesn't wear glasses or have a cane because he wants to feel like a normal kid, not a helpless one. So I speak and see for him." My jaw dropped. I looked into the kid's eyes, but he just stared straight ahead. He really was blind and mute. That's why his dad had been answering for him. A man walked into my barber shop with his son, then literally dragged the boy into my chair. "He'll take a low on the side." I tapped my best friend's mom. "Thanks for driving us to get ice cream. My albino can barely handle this heat." The doors locked and she drove right past the ice cream parlor. "Change of plans. We're going on a hike." A little heat never hurt anyone. My heart started pounding because going outside would burn me. I laughed nervously. "No, like, going directly in the sun is really bad for me. Even with sunscreen, I'll get second-degree burns and end up in the hospital." But Google Maps read, "Turn left to reach the hiking trail," and she started speeding. "I'm so sick of your whole generation," her mom said. "Scared of everything. A little discomfort and you fall apart." My friend picked at her seatbelt. "Mom, we can just do this another day." Her mom's hands tightened on the wheel. "No, nobody should be scared of going outside." Tears filled my eyes. I knew I had to come up with something because no one in this car was going to save me. I cleared my throat and fake smiled. "You know what? I'm down. Do you mind if I borrow your phone to call the nearby shop to see if they sell ice cream?" She turned around and her face lit up. "Glad you finally came around." I called the 7-Eleven down the road, the one my mom worked at. "Hey." My mom recognized my voice instantly. "Hey honey, is everything okay?" I spoke over her. "I'm with my friend and her mom, and we're driving to go on a hike. Since it's so hot and I'm sweating, do you guys sell ice cream?" My mom's voice instantly tightened. "What do you mean you're on a hike? You shouldn't be outside." I pretended to sound cheerful. "Yep, it was my friend's mom's idea. Anyway, we'll be there soon." I hung up, and when we arrived, there were already 2 police cars waiting. Her mom beamed. "Nice that somebody keeps people safe out here." She unlocked the doors with a cheerful click. An officer came to her window. "Step out, ma'am." Her smile held. "I'm sorry?" The police officer pointed at me. "You locked a minor in a hot car and kept driving after she told you she was albino. Out." They cuffed her and carried her into the car, and I tapped the police officer. "Don't turn on the AC." He smirked and nodded, and the mom turned to face me. I blew her a kiss. A little heat never hurt anyone. I tapped my best. I woke up at 2 a.m. to something crawling across my lips, and when I opened my eyes, 100 cockroaches were crawling all over my bed. I screamed and threw the blanket off, but my best friend Stacy was recording me from the doorway, laughing and surrounded by an anti-bug sheet. I cried and stomped my feet as the tiny cockroaches crawled between my fingers and toes, then finally sprinted out of my house. By the next morning, she'd posted the video, and the whole school was calling me Roach Girl. But even worse, when I came home, our whole house was sealed off. My mom told me she had to call an exterminator because the cockroaches had spread, and now the bedroom I'd spent years making my own was destroyed. I immediately stormed to Stacy's house and screamed at her. Our house was condemned because of the roaches, but Stacy simply shrugged. "Relax, it was just a prank." That's when I knew I had to fight fire with fire. The day me and mom moved back in, I ordered a small sealed tub of alive cockroaches. I left them in the shed and waited months doing nothing. I sat next to Stacy for lunch, and by April, she'd completely forgotten about her cockroach stunt. Then she said the magic words, "Want to get ready for prom at my house?" I smiled and said yes. On prom afternoon, we were doing our makeup in her room while she kept talking about this being the best night of her life. That's when I grabbed her purse. I snuck into the bathroom, dropped the tub of roaches into it, opened the tub, and immediately zipped the purse shut. I could feel the roaches crawling even from the outside. My hands shook as I put it back on the dresser. I watched Stacy grab the purse and walk down into the hallway, and that's when I asked, "Hey, can you grab me a napkin from your purse?" She unzipped it, and instantly hundreds of roaches came out and crawled over her hands. I watched them slip into her dress as she screamed, but I was already running. I shut the front door behind me and locked it with the key I grabbed. Through the front window, I watched Stacy get swarmed by a cloud of roaches. She banged both fists on the glass, screaming my name while they crawled up her neck, but I just pressed a sticky note against the window. "It's just a I walked into my new apartment for the first time when I stopped and saw a huge camera pointed directly at me. There was a green line on it, like it was on. I felt extremely uneasy and immediately called my landlord. "Why is there a camera in my living room? Is this normal?" He paused. "I never put any cameras in there," and he immediately hung up. My skin crawled. Who put cameras in my apartment? I got paranoid and searched for more cameras. I checked above the front door, and there was another one, watching everyone who walked in. I went to the kitchen and found one wedged between the cabinets, pointed at the stove. My heart was pounding now. I crept into the bathroom and searched every crevice, and there it was, one hidden behind the mirror. Why would someone put a hidden camera in the bathroom? My hands shook as I backed out. As I stepped across the living room, I saw the first camera slowly turn and follow me, like someone was watching me right now. I immediately ripped the camera off the wall. I needed to find out whose camera this was, so I traced the wires to a serial number and took them straight to the police. The police used the serial number and traced it to the owner. They gave me the owner's address across town. I wasn't going to wait around, so I left the station with the officers straight to the address, and the truth was something I couldn't have expected. We knocked, and I was ready to scream at whatever creep opened the door, but instead, a frail older woman answered, looking confused. I snapped, "Why do you have cameras in my apartment? You've been watching me." I threw the cameras down at her feet. She looked down at them, and her eyes filled with tears. She sobbed, and the officers and I froze. Those are my cameras," she whispered. "My mother lived in that apartment. She had dementia. I put them up to keep her safe. One by the door so she wouldn't wander out. One in the kitchen so she wouldn't leave the stove on." Her voice cracked. "And the bathroom. She fell in there once and laid on the floor for hours before I found her." I felt my stomach drop. "So why are the cameras still active in there? Are you still watching me?" She shook her head. "They automatically follow motion. When she passed, I was too heartbroken to take them down. I forgot they were even still on. I thought a creep was watching me. Instead, it was the remnants of a caring daughter." I walked into my new apartment. I asked my aunt if she wanted to bury another child. We were at my grandmother's 75th birthday party when I noticed my cousin had been in the bathroom for a long time. I knocked and nobody answered, but the door was unlocked, so I opened it to check on her. She was on the floor with her back against the bathtub, head slumped forward. I dropped to my knees and shook her, but she didn't respond, and her breathing was so shallow I could barely hear it. I pulled the Narcan out of my purse and sprayed it into her nose. Then I called 911. My aunt walked by, and when she looked in, her expression shifted from confusion to rage. "What did you just give her?" "It's Narcan. It reverses overdoses." "Overdoses? My daughter doesn't do that. She probably just has a migraine." She grabbed my arm. "You probably gave her something so you could play the hero." Other family members were gathering in the hallway, and she turned to them. "She sprayed something into my daughter's nose without my permission. She carries junkie supplies in her purse, and now she's trying to make my daughter look like an addict." Then she heard the sirens. "You called 911 to come to my mother's 75th birthday? Now the whole neighborhood is going to see paramedics coming into this house?" She turned to my grandmother. "I'm so sorry, Mom. She's ruining your party." The paramedics came in and started checking Jade's vitals while the other talked to me. "You gave her Narcan?" "Yes, about 5 minutes ago." "Good call. Her breathing is still depressed. We need to take her in." My aunt stepped in front of the stretcher. "This is a family matter. Ma'am, Narcan is only temporary. Without treatment, she could stop breathing again." They loaded my cousin onto a stretcher, while my aunt, after 20 years cleaning the